So you mentioned in your answer cleaning, that we don't clean our brains out or clean our brains up. How would we go about doing that?
Yeah. So, for example, when you're sleeping, there is something called amyloid that is covering from food and pollution and so on, and medication. As you have 86 billion neurons that are connected with glia cell. And then you have this amyloid that could cover them. And during the night when you're sleeping, you're actually cleaning it up. If you don't, you're not going to have a good memory. You're not going to have a good learning ability. So slowly but surely, it could lead to dementia. It could lead to Alzheimer. And that's just one reason. Then they found blood-brain barrier is a big part of the problem that was found at Hebrew University in Israel. They said all these chemicals that we ingest could actually go through the brain barrier into our brain. So we need to clean it. We need to sleep and actually clean our brain.
Thank you. Talking about the other area of the body here, do people who eat healthy, specifically plant-based, need to take colonics?
Okay, so colonic, you have one in the program, the 3-week program that we have one colonic in the program. And of course, people can buy more as they please. The thing is, we do teach you how to cleanse your intestines with enemas, and then we do wheatgrass implant after. But that's for the 3 weeks. We do that to help you actually detoxify better so that you don't have headaches every day and no show, because when you clean, your body reacts. And all the help you can get, we have energy medicine, of course, a lot of machines that help you during your process, the massages, the lymphatic drainage, the acupuncture, you name it. All of that is helping you through the process of cleansing, especially in the beginning. And then after that, your intestines should work. They should work. Your microbiome should be much better. Your microbiome, is very taxed by all the chemicals that we ingest. And there is another reason. All those chemicals, they found, this came out of Colorado Public Health. They actually found that these chemicals could make it very hard for our body to make antibodies for vaccinations. Now, that's very interesting because I think we've seen a lot of that during COVID. And so who knows how we all react to the same vaccine? It depends on the chemicals in the air and the water in our food too, very much.
So how often do you suggest taking saunas? You had mentioned doing saunas.
Daily, absolutely daily. There's Brian, my husband, and I are daily in the sauna after a walk, after resistance training, and especially when we've done a big trip. I mean, that is very important. So what we make sure is that every hotel, as we're on conference, we just did one in March, that every hotel has saunas, or that there's sauna in a gym close by that we can use, because we realize the toxins. We know what people have in their body, and we see the difference when you nourish the body, cleanse, saunas, exercise, sleep well. It's night and day. So, but at the same time, we need to work against the food packaging systems that are making these single-use plastics, and start using hemp. Look at hemp. Hemp, you can actually, hemp is much cheaper than fossil fuel, and we need to get into hemp plastic. So there's so many things that we need to get into, but we need governments to be supportive of it, and not to be supportive of the corporations that are destroying us.
What are the benefits of the hemp plastic? Are they more biodegradable, and are they less toxic?
They compose in 3 months. In 3 months, they're done. And So fossil fuel, single-use plastic will never go away, never. So that's the difference. In 3 months, the hemp plastic will be gone.
Okay.
So, yeah.
And just going back to the sauna, is there any difference between the infrared sauna versus the traditional saunas?
Well, infrared heats you from the inside out. You tend to perspire different. Of course, I'll use any sauna, but the normal sauna, like in Sweden and Finland, it's very, very hot. But we tend to have stones on the machine that we can pour water on. So we actually putting some steam and make it better. But it gets up to very hot temperature, like 180 Fahrenheit. Our sauna, maybe 150 max, 140, around 140. So it's a different heat. It heats us from the inside out, and we start to perspire. Totally different. So I prefer it, but hey, I take any sauna.
Right, great. And along the detox that we're talking about, and going back to the airplanes, when we get exposed to radiation, what is the best way to remove that radiation?
The sauna, steam sauna. And I mean, otherwise, if you have a bathtub that has good water and you filtered water, then you put sea salt, a cup of sea salt, a pound of Arm & Hammer or some good aluminum-free baking soda, and that will also help you to clean up, which you could do anyway, even though you do saunas. So that is one way to clean it up. And eating really well and drinking enough fluid so that you flush toxins out of your system. If you're dehydrated, my gosh, it's #1 cause of death, actually, but you also store a lot of toxic chemicals in your system.
Thank you. And how about for the house? Do plants in our house really make a difference enough
Yes.
to fill the house with them?
Plants, big time. And, you know, you can make things now. You can buy green furniture, green everything in the house. You can look for that. You can look for organic instead of Scotchgard treated rugs, laminate floor. You know, you use natural, you use tile, you use bamboo, you use stone, you use natural things. So if you have the chance to build, of course, you should go out of your way to find that. And the room where you're going to sleep, as little electric as possible. Don't bring the TV, don't bring the computer, you know, don't bring all that stuff, because you are so hooked on it. And I know we're totally addicted to it. It is, it's tough to not use it all the time. Actually, our last magazine, Healing Our World, which you can get, it's the digital, or you can look on our website how to get it. That one, I did an interview with a mother and daughter that works with tech, siesta, or digital work, where they actually have more, they make us more conscious about what we're doing with technology. And more or less they said, do you really need it? Is it something good that will happen if you pick up that cell phone now? Are you just looking at it because, or is it something that you need from it? And so make better choices, make better choices.
So, okay, let's talk about putting things in our body here. So what are the most important nutritional supplements that people should be taking, whether on a plant-based diet, specifically on a plant-based diet, and then also for omnivores? Like, what are we missing?
Yeah. So, you know, we don't make enough B12 in our body. We don't get enough. The soil doesn't have enough. So B12, of course, is very important. Vitamin D, of course, if I can have enough sunshine, and Florida we do, but we still, most of us are indoors most of the time. So we still take vitamin D, enzymes that will help you absorb and digest food better, probiotics. Prebiotics is very important. Prebiotic is not a pill. Prebiotic is what you should be eating. I tell people that's our buffet. That is all the sprouts, the vegetables. That is what it is. So prebiotic makes probiotic work. So if you don't have good prebiotic, the probiotic will not work well for you. We take, I take for sure iodine and selenium, because all these chemicals that have been in the air, that are in the air, the fluoride from the aluminum industry that's killed our thyroid. And so many women come here with thyroid problem. And thyroid problem really happens first in puberty, or it happens in maternity, and it's as we're pregnant, or in menopause. And so we see so much of this problem as the thyroid is a master gland looking after so many things. I mean, it's a major endocrine gland. So that gives us problem. It's a ripple effect. And selenium helps big time. There's not enough selenium in the soil. So how much iodine? I take small amount every day, a small amount. I take selenium. Magnesium helps everybody. And if you drink coffee and alcohol, believe me, you better take that magnesium. Everybody is deficient in that. And then, you know, we do, of course, here at the Hippocrates Wellness is all individuals. So I will add things as needed from everything that we see. Our medical team looks at their blood tests, and we do a lot of biofeedback tests to see their energy in their body. And it amazes people, the biological age that we get out of it. It's a lot of fun. Not always fun, because some people are much older than their age. And then after 3-4 weeks here, they actually get to see that they are younger. And so you bring the nourishment, you bring the energy. And, you know, I always feel like if each person do their job, if they become plant-based, which we all were meant to be. We were meant to be plant-based. We don't have claws. We don't have the fangs. We don't have those. We couldn't catch a rabbit if we wanted to. And our intestinal tract is far longer than a carnivorous. And the pH in our stomach is totally different. So we have all the, you know, God gave you all those answers and told you what you should be eating. And we've been messing up, but we can change. So each person that is a part of the change, I congratulate.
Great, thank you. I just want to ask you a couple, about a couple of things you just said, and then I'm going to turn over to the questions to the audience. Looks like Roy's back, and we've got a few more people as well. But real quickly, you mentioned selenium and iodine specifically. Yes. Are Brazil nuts good for selenium?
Yeah. So Brazil nuts would be great. Yes.
Would that be enough instead of taking like a store-bought supplement?
Right. Oh, yeah. Well, I take both because I want to make sure that my thyroid. What I found is my mother had serious thyroid problem. All her sister and brothers, my cousins. It's been 4 generations, big time thyroid problem. So in my case, I want to prevent it big time.
Okay, and then iodine, is seaweed a good way of getting that in?
Seaweed is a great way to get it. Yes.
So. Next is Sylvia. Sylvia, please state where you're from and ask your question.
Hi, I'm from Arizona. I'm just wondering, how do you go about finding green furniture or rugs and such?
Hi, Sylvia. So yes, there is a lot of organizations that make these. I mean, we've been able to find even in normal stores, we find organic sofas and couches. I mean, and seats that we use here at the Institute. We have our bedding, for example. Our beds are 100% organic, and our mattress is 100% organic latex. So we've furnished very much with tile And so a lot of things you don't have to go out of your way because you can find them. You find the good tile, you find stone, you find bamboo. And so you don't really have to, you should be able to find this probably in stores at home or on the internet. But it's a good question, and we can't make it too complicated. But I think what you will see is more and more of companies that will support organic living and not getting forever chemicals into your house and everything that you buy. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So our next question is going to Jay. Jay, please state where you're from and ask your question.
Hello, I'm Jay from Birmingham, UK.
Hey, hi, Jay.
All right, please state your question, Jay.
Yeah, I want to ask, I'll grow my wheatgrass and juice it. Then, the second cutting, is it okay to cut it again and regrow it and let it carry on growing? Will I lose the nutrition or will it be the same?
Yeah, you have the answer. The first cutting is what gives you the most. And what you want from wheatgrass, of course, is all the nourishing and healing properties that it has. The second one, I mean, there is some, but you can't compare it with the first. So go for the first.
Okay, great. There we go. And our next question is coming from Deborah. Deborah, please state where you're from and ask your question.
Hi, yeah, it's Debbie from Massachusetts. And I just wanted to first say it's lovely to kind of see and meet Anne Marie, because I see Brian all the time and he offers his time. And I always think, oh, he should be home like with his wife watching TV, but he's giving us free lectures. And my question is, I traveled for the weekend and went away. And it was the hardest thing to try to eat properly. It starts the minute you leave the house and try to get on the plane, and you realize there is nothing unless you have brought stuff with you. And I guess what I just want to ask you guys, because you are all here and so influential, there needs to be more choices for people who can't afford to, go first class and have 6 extra bags to bring all the food with them and are schlepping at the back of the plane with their carry-on, are going to pack 16 snacks and, have their juicer with them. And you get to the hotel and there's only so many choices. And I just realized really for the first time how well I have been eating, and then how hard it was when I got out into kind of outside of my environment to find choices without being that person that every time I ordered, I had to kind of, ask 1,000 questions about what I was going to eat and then all this kind of stuff. But I just, even on just I want to say a common level, I can't spend all day doing this, and it's expensive and it can be hard out in the real world because everything's against us. So I guess what I'd like to say is I'd like to see an effort. It would have been nice if the little snack they offered me on the plane was a healthy choice, or if they had one healthy choice. But if we could get our food healthier for everyone, people wouldn't have to think about it. They'd just be eating it and they'd be so much better off. And so it can just be challenging. And I'm just actually very frustrated because I've been home since Monday and I'm making those green drinks and grinding up my fresh stuff. And my body is so happy. I mean, I was in distress for 3 days. So I guess I don't really have a question. It's more a comment, but I know you guys are the powers that be. And I would just love to see at legislation level, just stop growing this stuff, stop putting it on the shelves. And then there can be no choice that have to give us better, we wouldn't have to study and do all this stuff. That's all I really have to say. And it is just lovely to see and meet you. Thank you.
Thank you, Debbie. You're so right. But it really comes down to each of us that demanding change, that demanding it by our wallet, because if we don't buy it anymore, then why would the stores carry it? So the more and more of us that are actually conscious and making good choices and demanding different packaging, it happens. It happened in California. So slowly but surely, they're not going to have single-use plastic there. Traveling like we do all the time, Brian and I, it's, yes, we don't eat on the plane. We buy some distilled water and we drink as we're flying. And I know a lot of people wants to eat, but you don't feel good. I always say, you look at what happens to a bag of chips in the plane, that happens to you. And you don't feel good when you get off that plane. So you want to be in good shape. Yes, as we travel, we usually rent a car and get to the closest health store wherever we are in the world, and we buy all fresh vegetables, avocados, nuts, seeds, and we make it. Does it have to be exactly what we do here at home? No, it can't be. But we find juice bars. We find wheatgrass in most places. So if the juice bar doesn't have, let's say at the airport, we can get wheatgrass shot, we can get some celery juice and, cucumber juice. So you can do the best you can. Yes, I wish the world would come along with all of us, but it will. And I hope that, the big plan should be that by 2050, that we are totally zero pollution. And, that we can all work on that to get there, because we will not be here for that, but we will have great grandkids, great grandkids, and we will have our family to look forward to, that they are going to be pollution free. We need to get rid of corporations' greed that is making all this happen, so that we have to make conferences about the real truth about health. And I know Stephen Shore and all of us will keep doing this as long as it takes. And thank you for your input, Debbie.